Right, hello again. Going to make another video here about the pseudocode algorithm question from the June 2015 exam. Okay, let's go through the task here. It's the manager of a mobile phone shop has many staff members. Each staff member's monthly sales of mobile phone contracts are recorded over a period of 12 months. The staff member sells more than 4 phone contracts in 1 month. They get a bonus. Okay. A basic text editor write an algorithm which inputs the number of staff members, inputs the number of monthly sales of mobile phone contracts for each staff member, outputs whether a staff member has a bonus for that month, calculates the total annual sales for each staff member, and outputs the total annual sales. Calculates and then outputs the total annual sales for each staff member. Okay, so you see the basic structure here of the algorithm is the inputs of the values you need, some calculation, and then the outputs. Okay, that's the basic structure of any pseudocode algorithm for task for the exam. Okay, now there's an example here of the sort of output from an input and output that the exam board are looking for in the solution. Okay, so the first thing is to enter the number of staff members. In this example there's 3, so then for those 3 staff members you'd have to repeat the monthly sales figures for 12 months, for 1 year, for every single one of those 3 staff members. Now you won't need to write out this output yourself, but that is just an example given to you by the exam board. And then for any month where the sales of phone contracts for that month is above 4, okay, if it's above 4 contracts, they get a bonus. So here for month 2, for staff member 1, they sold 5, so they get a bonus. Okay, yeah, so that's just an example of the sort of output you might have produced if you ran your pseudocode algorithm. Okay, right, now let's switch over to Notepad, and now the first thing we're going to do always is to declare the variables we think we will need. Now it's quite likely you won't get them all correct at the very start. You'll have to go back and add some more in later on, and that's totally fine. Okay, same thing here, I probably will miss some out, but let's just see. So declare. Now the first thing I think we need is a number of staff members, right? So input declare number staff members as integer. Okay, is the data type integer, right? Now what else will we need? We'll need the current monthly sales figures. Declare current monthly sales as integer. Right, what else will we need? Whether a staff member has a bonus for that month. Could do a Boolean variable there, maybe true false variable. I'm not sure we need it, to be honest. The total annual sales for each staff member. Yeah, so to calculate the total annual sales, it's going to be a running total where we take the sales from the first month and then add it to the second, to the third, to the fourth, etc., and do that for 12 months and get the final total. So a running total is needed for that. Declare the total annual, I should tell you what I'm going to call this, annual sales running total. Running total. So it's very clear what it is. Okay, anything else there we need? I think that will do us for now. I'll definitely probably have to come back and add some more in afterwards. Okay. Now, after you declare some variables, it's also, I think, very useful to initialize them, to give them a first initial value. So we can set number staff members to 0, although that will change very soon because we're going to ask the user to input how many staff members there are. The key one you will have to set to 0 is the running total. Okay, so that must start at 0. Set annual sales running total to 0, and you will have to reset that to 0 again for every employee in the company. Okay, So we'll do it once here at the start, and you'll do it again later on in the program. And then the monthly sales is going to be input by the user somewhere else in our pseudocode algorithm. Yeah. So let's just continue on down. Now the next thing is to do the inputs. The first input is the number of staff members. To get the input, you need an output on the screen to ask the user to type this in. So we're going to do output with the message on the screen, please enter the number of employees. Of course, my message there is a bit different to what is given in the exam. They say please enter the number of staff members. It doesn't really matter. You won't gain or lose marks by doing your own there. And then input, the variable name I chose was number of staff members, so that goes here. So instantly, after being set to 0, it is now set to an input from the user, okay? So I don't really need that there, to be honest. Okay, you can leave it there or take it out, it doesn't really matter. Okay. So I have how many staff members we have in the company now. Now, again, for almost every question in the pseudocode question, it's very, very likely you'll be asked to do some sort of loop. Now, it could be a while loop where you're not sure how many times to run something. It could be a for loop where you know exactly how many times you'll do something. In this question, it's a little bit different and needs both. Okay. Now, because you will need to do a for loop for 12 times, once for each month in the year, for each staff member. So for employee number 1, you got to ask 12 times how many phone contracts did that employee sell in month 1, in month 2, etc. Do that for all 12 months. So it's a for loop to run 12 times, and then you need a while loop because you're not sure how many employees there are. It's an unknown number. The user of the algorithm will input the number of staff members, and we don't know what that is in advance, so it must be a while loop, okay? And it will run this number of times, okay? Right, so for all of these questions, so before you do any kind of loop, it's very, very important that you just get the basic structure of the code, of the pseudocode, correct just for one person, for one example of what you're working with, okay? And in this example, it's employee sales. So get it correct for one person, for 1 month, and then we're going to do some loops around that code to extend it as we need to, right? So the basic code is going to be that they're going to have an output message, output to say, please enter the sales figures for... Now, in the example here, they say month 1 for staff member 1, month 2 for staff member 1, month 3 staff member 1, and then month 1 staff member 2. So they're putting these numbers here, so it's nice, very nice clear output message on the screen for the user. To do that, you will need to know the index within the loop, okay? How many times has the loop run before, and how many times will it need to run afterwards. So to do that, we will need an index in the loop. So we need to please enter the sales figures for plus, I'm going to call this monthly index, okay, for month 1, for, I'll call this employee index, okay. Please enter the sales figures for month 1 for employee 1 or 2, etc. Right, plus in there as well. Just add those strings together, that text together to make one long string. Okay, yeah, plus, yeah, that's fine. All right, so I need to declare these now as variables up above. I've got 2 new variables there. Declare employee index as integer, and that's going to count how many employees or our position in that loop for how many employees there are, okay? So if there's 3 employees, that index will increase from 1 to 2 to 3 within the while loop controlling that, okay? And the same thing for the monthly index index to control a for loop, 12 months. Now that actually is a known value, so I can set that, set monthly index to 12. Okay, right. Now output, please enter the sales figures for month 1 for employee 1. Good. Now the user is going to input the current monthly sales. Okay, input the current monthly sales. Just fussy about variable names here. Maybe current month sales. Maybe a little bit better then. You won't again gain or lose any marks for that, but I'm quite pedantic and I like to have very clear variable names, as you all know. Input the current month sales. Now we need to then add that to our running total for the year for this employee. So we'll set the running total, set the annual running total to the previous value of the annual running total plus the current monthly sales. Now why does that line work? How does it work? Well, at the very start of the year, this annual sales running total is 0. So then in month 1, we're going to do 0 plus how many it sold in month 1. Okay? And imagine that they sell 3 phones in month 1. So then the value of the running total becomes 3. And then in month 2, we're going to do 3 plus how many they sold in month 2. Imagine they sell 4, so that becomes 7. Yes, and this is 7. Okay, and for month 3, we set it to 7 plus the next month total. So we keep adding on the next month's total sales to the running total. And that will work to build up the final total at the end of 12 months for this employee. All right, so we're going to add that running total. We've got to check if they have a bonus for that month, right? Okay, actually, let's do that above the running total because it's it's above the total in the question there. So we need to do an if the current month sales is, just put greater than 4. Actually, it's greater than equal to 4. Let's be very precise about that. Then what? An end if then. So an indent. If the current monthly sales is greater than equal to 4, then output bonus awarded. Okay. If they sell more than 4 in that month, they get a bonus. Then I'm going to do my running total. Okay. And what else for each month, for each employee? I think that's enough for that month alone. Yeah. So that's this code here is all the code you need for 1 month for 1 employee. We now have to loop that 12 times for 12 months for the full year. So I'm going to make a for loop. For month index I declared that to 12 initially. Probably shouldn't have actually. For month index equals 1 to 12. So I'm going to actually take that out. And I say monthly index. Let's just call it month. I spelled monthly wrong anyway. I'm sure you all spotted that before. Month index. For month index equals 1 to 12. You could put the word do there. Sometimes you do that. Not so important. For month index equals 1 to 12. Now I'm going to indent all of this so it's inside the for loop. Output, please enter the sales figures. Input the current sales if it's above 4, and then set the annual running total to that. And that's end for. That's my for loop. It will do all of this code 12 times. Okay, for 1 employee, and then I have to loop all of this code for how many employees there are. Okay, and that is a while loop because we don't know how many there are, right? I guess you could do for loop there because use this variable name, okay? Yeah. So I'll do both of those as an example. You could, because it's an input from the user, you could actually, I was wrong before, you could do a for loop here. For employee index equals 1 to the number of staff members. So actually, my mistake before, I said use a while loop because it's unknown number of employees. It's actually a for loop, but you use the number entered by the user as the endpoint for the for loop. Okay, so I'm sorry about my mistake before, but I think you sort of understand why I just changed my mind. Yeah. So for employee index equals 1 to number of staff members. So if it's 4 staff members, it will run this 4 times. 3 staff members will run 3 times, etc. So let me just indent all this code again, so it's inside the new for loop. Did I end the for? I did. That ends the index, the month index for loop. This will end the employee index for loop. Okay. So index for the month and index for the employee. Good. That's okay. So at the end, after we do the 12 months for the employee, we can output the total for the year for that employee. Okay, employee, and then it's going to be, did I just use the same variable name there? Employee index, yeah. Output, let's say, total annual sales for employee plus employee index equals plus, it's then the annual sales running total. And that will display on the screen the final sales figure for that year for that employee. Okay. Right. Outputs the total annual sales for each staff member, and I think that actually is enough for this pseudocode. Okay. Yeah. That actually will do it. Right. We input the number of staff members, inputs the monthly sales for each staff member, outputs for the bonus, calculates total annual sales, and outputs the total annual sales for each staff member. Okay. Right. So that actually will work, I think, as the pseudocode solution there. Last task is to save your algorithm as sales bonus.txt. Okay, so let me just save this quickly and then we're done. Save as, going to go to 2015, I think this is, yeah, 2015, good. And then I'll just copy and paste that file name. Save, and that's it. We're done for this solution. Quite a short solution actually. Yeah, quite nice. All right, good. Thank you.